One day, an unidentified substance with the ability to prevent the spread of combustion engulfing the entire globe emerged, and humans named this substance burnout shock. Due to its presence, most things like fire, electricity, atomic energy, and so forth, became useless. Cars, airplanes, air conditioning systems, as well as the production and distribution of food, were all halted. Among them, the disappearance of weaponry became the most significant change affecting the world. With governments unable to operate missiles, fighter jets, guns, and other modern weapons, lawlessness and mafia rule prevailed unchecked. Without the support of civilization, habitable land became extremely scarce. However, strangely, there is one place where humans can live prosperously, and it's called the Top Zone. Humanity has continuously fought each other to claim this land. Meanwhile, suddenly, there emerged genetically enhanced beings, possessing extraordinary strength to the point of dominance, and they began to take over the Top Zone. On the other hand, many people have fled and are living clandestinely in the Death Zone, moving towards the Top Zone. They stood on the brink of confrontation with the terrifying experimental beings, hoping to change the current situation. A mysterious man, cloaked and silent, stood ready to face the onslaught of the crazed mutants charging towards him. The claws of another aberrant individual closed in on the man, eagerly lunging forward. However, a strong, red-belted girl emerged, smashing away the mutants protecting her comrades. At that moment, a giant arrow shot from behind, aimed directly at the cloaked man. Yet, a steel shield quickly materialized, intercepting the arrow. The man with the explosive hair, tense with anticipation, observed and prepared to block any attacks. Behind him, the blonde-haired man of the team controlled the enemy, wielding long-range weapons. He smiled, signaling the completion of the mission to his comrades. Suddenly, a giant foot appeared, advancing towards the group. He raised his massive foot, ready to crush the tiny figures below. Unexpectedly, a redhead youth appeared, flying towards him and punching him straight in the face. He continuously struck the enemy, causing him to stagger and fall. As the giant mutant was subdued, the redhead youth stood indifferently atop the defeated foe. He calmly looked ahead, ready to face any enemy. The team of 5 gathered together, showing no signs of fear. The redhead youth spoke confidently, urging them to advance towards the Top Zone. All of them charged into the enemy ranks, confronting overwhelming odds in terms of numbers. The fierce battle begins, with each member of the team launching powerful attacks. Regardless of the pressure and the number of opponents, the team courageously fights without hesitation. The city, undergoing 5 years since the disappearance of fire, has become desolate. Scenes of devastation and barrenness abound everywhere. Old and abandoned cars linger on the streets, devoid of signs of life. Only scenes of silence and emptiness prevail. Below the sewers, smoke rises with murmurs of communication, sounds echoing from the underground life, signals of alarm for the presence of survivors. It's almost time. Everyone quickly returns to their place. The night guards assemble. The mother, filled with worry, exclaimed, "My son, you're cold." The man and his grandson approached the mother and her son. They witnessed the heartbreaking sight of the exhausted, feverish redhead boy, causing the mother great worry. Mom, I'm cold." The redhead boy continues to cough up blood, his body weakened and in pain, causing the mother to be unable to hide her concern and helplessness in her eyes, only holding her son close in her arms, crying bitterly, "Ray. It's true, ever since the disappearance of fire, medicine hasn't been produced. Knowing what to do now, if only the boy could drink water, that would be good." The man scratches his head, sighing deeply. "Why haven't we had any rain this year? Places with water to drink have all been taken over by the Mafia. At this rate, it's better to let them take us away." The boy beside him spoke up. "These water thieves, if caught by the Mafia, they'll either be forced to take experimental drugs with less than a 10% survival rate or be treated like dogs and killed. They don't know what they're talking about," he added. "We should be grateful we still have this place to live without being discovered," the boy continued. Just then, a noise outside the large gate heightened everyone's alertness. "Don't worry, I'm from the Civilian Emergency Response Team. Bringing medical supplies and relief supplies here," a man outside reassured, handing a bottle of water through the gate as evidence. Glancing through the crack, the young guard immediately reported seeing the relief supplies bag. "It's indeed relief supplies, and he's alone. What should we do?" If he's alone, even if he's Mafia, he can't do anything against our numbers, someone whispered. First of all, we really need emergency medicine, another replied. Immediately, the sturdy door creaked open. And the man stepped inside, reassuring everyone. Please rest assured, I'm from the Civilian Defense Force, tasked with moving people to safety. Alright, let's assume you're not Mafia, let's assume there's a safe place somewhere. How do you plan to protect and move such a large number of people? Someone asked skeptically. I know the geography of this area well. And, above all, I'm also an experimental subject, the man said, flexing his muscles, revealing his enhanced abilities. As everyone looked on in utter amazement. The man continued, yes, I've heard about it too. Some people wager their lives to become experimental subjects to protect the people. The doctor who helped me become an experimental subject said that many people need saving, and he sent me here. Suddenly, the man noticed the two distressed mother and child in the corner of the room. Approaching them, he held out a bottle of water, saying, Here, this is water and antibiotics, drink this first. Thank you so much, the mother choked back tears as she replied. However, just then, an arrow unexpectedly pierced the young man's body, causing him intense pain. Get back, move away, he yelled, clutching the arrow tightly. Suddenly, the iron gate was shattered. Bizarre arrows from all directions flew straight towards the civilian defense man. In an instant, he was torn apart. And immediately vanished without any chance to defend himself. Seeing the man involuntarily collapse, the mother, filled with panic, screamed in disbelief at the unfolding scene before her eyes. What's this? Still plenty of subjects for experimentation like this, a mutant with grotesque fingers chimed in. These little mice, you're quite elusive, the mutant sneered. Attempting to attack the monstrous creature from behind, however, the man was immediately cleaved in two, leaving everyone stunned in silence. Don't be afraid, the elder leader tried to maintain calm and reassure everyone. Our numbers are much greater. If we attack, we can win. Everyone, arm yourselves, he encouraged, rallying the people. Amidst the commotion, suddenly the ceiling shattered unexpectedly. Giant mutated beings leaped down, surrounding all the helpless refugees below. Seeing that horrifying scene, everyone felt helpless, devoid of any remaining hope. Trembling while holding his son and watching from afar, suddenly, an arrow shattered the pillar where the mother and her son were trying to hide. Those who hide and sneak around must all be killed, he declared sternly. He issued threats while unleashing countless torrents of violence. Quickly launching an attack, he instilled extreme fear in the mother, rendering her completely helpless and unable to do anything. Please spare me, I'll come out now, she pleaded. The people suddenly stepped out, raising their hands in surrender. Oh, I'm sorry, I got too excited, he apologized. Every time I see something hiding, I just want to kill it until I go crazy, he explained. Ray, dear, the mother also quietly stepped out and tried to hide her child. Quickly gather together, he commanded. The besieged refugees couldn't escape, nobody could break free. All attention, Saken has arrived, they all whispered in anticipation. The group of mutants stood solemnly, welcoming their leader as he stepped in. Seeing their boss approach, the subordinates knelt down and spoke. Saken, these are the last experimental subjects before reaching the top zone, sir, they addressed him respectfully. Once you appear before our organization, you will all perish, Saken declared resolutely. But if you all take this medication and become experimental subjects, you will be able to rule the world alongside me. Damn it, that's no different from suicide, exclaimed one of the refugees. Hearing that, he coldly replied, if you don't want this opportunity, so be it. The subordinates immediately ruthlessly executed the people without remorse, becoming a grim example for the remaining refugees if they refused to comply. Witnessing the terrifying scene, the people had no choice but to comply and try the medication. They endured pain and fear, with no other option for survival. Among the crowd, the mother felt immense pain and worry, unable to avoid being subjected to experimentation. She looked at her son with compassionate eyes. The red-haired boy choked back tears, knowing that his mother's sacrifice was inevitable, he felt pain in his heart but couldn't stop their fate. "Mom, Mom," he sobbed. As soon as the mother swallowed the pill, terror and pain flooded her body. She struggled but tried to maintain her composure, not wanting to see her little son in distress. All of them trembled, enduring the excruciating pain inflicted by the experimental drug. Each person in the room suddenly exploded, fragments flying everywhere, creating a horrifying scene. Blood dyed the entire room red, creating a sense of chaos and horror, haunting and disturbing. Seeing the terrifying scene, the boy couldn't believe what was happening. His eyes were filled with horror, unsure of what to do next. The red-haired boy felt pain to the core, tears streaming down his small face. The despair and loss Ray experienced were beyond words. Looking down from above, Sakan's expression remained unchanged, as if nothing had happened. His eyes were cold and ruthless, devoid of any remorse. In just moments, lifeless bodies lay scattered on the ground, a terrifying sight bearing witness to the brutality and desperation in a world inching towards destruction. The subordinate next to him reported, "Sakan, it seems like this experiment has also failed. Side effects have emerged with red streaks appearing on the dark skin of all bodies." "No human can withstand this drug," Sakan remarked, staring intensely at the pill. "I heard this was the strongest and most special type, so I had high hopes for it," Sakan commented. "If we want to seize the top zone first, we need to act urgently. Once arrangements are made, we will depart immediately," Sakan ordered. "Yes, all members are waiting outside. Let me check if there are any remaining hidden names, then we will proceed," he added. "We cannot allow anyone to survive even if our organization discovers them, as it would damage Sakan's reputation," he emphasized. The terrifying mutant scrutinized each corpse, staring intently at every detail, his eyes filled with cruelty and malice like a beast searching for prey. In desperation, the redhead boy hid within, tears falling like raindrops. Ray agonized, carrying deep sorrow for the loss of his beloved mother. The monster suddenly heard a noise from afar. He turned his head, facing towards the direction of the redhead boy, his eyes filled with cruelty. He approached the redhead boy when suddenly, a loud scream echoed from a distance. "Sakan, you bunch of idiots, you insects." Upon hearing that, the leader was dumbfounded, unable to believe that someone would dare to utter such words. A swarm of insects, the mother tried to use her last moments to attract attention. "This crazy one," the subordinate's anger hastily turned back. "You call me an insect?" Sakan advanced towards the mother, uttering the words. "Just a wretched creature dying slowly from the side effects of the medicine, yet still daring to boast loudly. Those insects, used to refer to the ones who are caught and then killed." Right after that, her body slowly began to break apart and fell right where Ray was hiding. Witnessing this scene, the boy cried helplessly. Indeed, a waste of useless time. Immediately setting off, Sakan issued orders. "Mom, oh Mom," Ray slowly crawled out to the outside. He tightly embraced his mother's lifeless body, his eyes filled with indescribable pain. Ray screamed loudly with anger, echoing through the space, causing the monster to turn its head in attention, its eyes filled with curiosity and malice. Ray trembled, crying uncontrollably, but within that pain, a boundless flame of determination shone. He was resolute on seeking revenge, not allowing any evil to go unpunished. "I will kill all of you," he declared with determination. Suddenly, he unexpectedly spotted the experimental pill. It turns out there was still a mouse, the favored creature, approaching. With no other choice, Ray quickly swallowed the pill. A sensation of pain spread in his mouth, but he tried to endure it. His heart pounded, and a new strength began to surge in his small body. "When the adults call, you have to answer. That's right, an impolite child. Then you should come to your mother's side." It seemed like he was about to tear the boy apart, but Ray underwent a mutation and boldly struck down the enemy. His hand, he was extremely astonished and in pain. Without any hesitation, Ray continued to attack with his sharp-edged hand, his eyes like an angry beast. "A wretched creature like you, even with the medicine, is nothing. I am the strongest experimental specimen." As soon as both collided, he felt the excruciating pain, sensing the horrifying strength emanating from Ray's small body. "Why is it like this?" He angrily began to regenerate his severed arm. "I am the strongest," he declared. Ray and the mutated creature charged at each other, both unleashing their most powerful combat abilities. Ray was attacked by arrows piercing through his body, causing blood to flow profusely from the wounds. However, that pain didn't make him falter, on the contrary, it only ignited more fighting spirit within him. Go to your death, the mutated one reveled in this scene, his satisfaction in his eyes indescribable. He was cruel and ruthless, enjoying the sight of death and pain. However, Ray swung forcefully, severing the enemy's arm and eliciting a loud scream. He writhed in pain, blood vessels visible on his face. The monstrous creature was caught off guard by the superior strength of the boy. Without hesitation, Ray pushed with both legs and leaped straight at the mutated creature, the battle reaching its climax with a furious and lethal strike from the red-haired boy. Wait a minute, this is really absurd. Ray kicked straight into the chest of the mutated one with terrifying strength, the powerful blow driving the enemy firmly into the ground. Observing from a distance, Saken remained stoic, showing no expression. The monstrous creature trembled, but in the end, he couldn't withstand Ray's strength. Desperation and pain were evident on his face. In the end, he was defeated, leaving his scene soaked in blood. Ray showed no mercy, no pity for those who caused his mother's death. Although he had killed him, Ray remained extremely angry, his fiery gaze fixed on the lifeless body of the mutated one. The hatred in his heart showed no signs of diminishing. Raising his sharp-edged arm high, he was ready to tear apart the enemy's corpse. Continuously striking to avenge his mother, relentless and fierce attacks poured down, carrying with them determination and overwhelming strength. Despite ceasing the assault, Ray's eyes still held a burning flame of hatred. Red streams of energy appeared, signaling that Ray's medicine was gradually losing its effect, and his superior strength was fading. Ray trembled, trying to stand up like a wounded beast, glaring directly at Saken. His heart pounded, attempting to summon the last vestiges of strength. Covered in blood and pain, the determination and resilience burned fiercely within Ray's mind, causing the mysterious power within his body to awaken. Ray's arm gradually turned black, with red veins appearing like fiery threads. He seemed to transform into a monstrous creature, this metamorphosis reflecting the chaos and emergence of dark power. Indeed, there were side effects, Saken commented indifferently. Staring intensely at his enemy, Ray was filled with intense anger. I will definitely kill you, he declared with determination. Go to your death, Ray charged swiftly at Saken, channeling all his strength into his arm. However, with just one finger, Saken flicked strongly, sending Ray's body flying, breaking through a large wall behind. Saken remained steadfast, showing no signs of wavering. He stared coldly at Ray's motionless body and then walked away without saying a word. A failed masterpiece, what a pity. Everyone moved to the top zone, he loudly commanded. As soon as the mutated group left, a quiet footstep moved towards Ray. A mysterious woman appeared, her gaze fixed upon the small figure of the boy, her eyes filled with suspicion and concern. Approaching gently, the girl lifted the boy up and embraced Ray in her arms. With a calm and soothing tone, the mysterious woman spoke up. So, this is the child. 10 years later, in a desolate and crumbling area, two sisters hurriedly ran together. The younger brother breathed heavily and tiredly, his eyes clouded with fear. The elder sister pointed ahead, trying to reassure him. We just need to endure until we reach that city. There must be a patrol team to protect fugitives like us. Sister, I'm so thirsty, the exhausted boy gasped, his body weakened to the point where he could hardly continue running. Sister, I'm so thirsty, the exhausted boy gasped, his words staggered, his sense of thirst becoming unbearable, his weakened body seemingly unable to continue the escape. Suddenly, the boy collapsed, the pain and exhaustion reaching their peak, leaving the older sister stunned, her eyes filled with worry as she watched him fall to the ground, her heart aching for her younger brother. Just a little more, or else they'll catch us, she urged desperately. In an instant, a spear thrust into the ground right where the two sisters stood, accompanied by a voice dripping with malice. Hey, you brats, do you know that nurturing you has been quite a task until you're old enough to be experimented on? So, you little pests dare to try and escape, the menacing voice continued. The older sister held her younger brother tightly, pleading desperately. Please let us go. If you can't wait, then I guess I'll have to reschedule the experiments sooner. The plea hung in the air, the fate of the siblings uncertain in the face of the ominous threat. The older sister felt helpless, unable to act as the situation unfolded before her. At that moment, a foot suddenly appeared out of nowhere, kicking straight at the leader's head, stunning all the wicked individuals. "Who are you?" the leader demanded, bewildered by the sudden intervention. "Oh, sorry about that," the young man replied calmly. "My job is to hunt down the Mafia, you see."